Payton Douglas was surrounded by the enemy, his back against the wall, or hearth, as it were. The Lockharts advanced on him with an anxious look in their eyes, and he wondered how they had managed to gain entry, today in particular, when he was entertaining some very important men from Glasgow, men who were, at this very moment, rather deep in their cups, having sampled the barley brie Scotch whisky distilled here on his estate, Ailen Ross. But his enemies were desperate, and by their own confession, in quite a predicament, for they'd been caught completely unawares when their dear friend Hugh McAllister had purloined their priceless family heirloom, a gold statue of a beastie with ruby eyes, right out from under their noses. Griffin Lockhart, from whom the beastie had been stolen, had just argued passionately that while this outrageous insult would be avenged in due time, at the moment it seemed that McAllister's actions had left the entire Lockhart family near to penniless, and faced with the forced betrothal of their only daughter married to the man who had lent them a princely sum to retrieve the beastie, Payton Douglas. The very same Payton Douglas who stood with his back against the cold hearth, eyeing the only one of the 5 Lockharts in his study who seemed inordinately relaxed. Seated at his writing desk, she idly twirled a quill pen as Payton stoically listened to the rather windy speech of her laird father. Frankly, one could scarcely do anything but listen when in the company of so many Lockharts. This speech, obviously prepared in advance, judging by the way Lady Lockhart's lips moved in unison with her husband's, spoke of how Payton, the son of ancestors who had spilled precious Lockhart blood in every war and time of strife, would take their only daughter to wife, having bargained for her in loaning them a substantial sum that was to be repaid within a year's time. "'Tis the stuff of popular novels," Lady Lockhart exclaimed. Behind her, her daughter Married smiled as she twirled the pen, as if that analogy amused her. "Frankly, milady, I've never read a novel as befuddling as this," Payton said. "If I am to understand, do you mean to say you'll not honour our agreement regarding the loan I made you?" That question was met with a burst of nervous, high-pitched laughter from the 4 dark-headed Lockharts standing at this little impromptu meeting. Carson, the ageing laird of what was left of the Lockhart clan, his lean and graceful lady-wife Ayla, their eldest son and massive soldier Liam, and his younger brother Griffin, who was slightly smaller and quite debonair. "Of course no," Liam boomed reassuringly. "But surely you understand that we couldn't have dreamed McAllister would betray us so. As you've said several times over now. Nevertheless, it would appear that he did indeed betray you, and you owe me a tidy sum, aye." The 4 standing Lockharts looked sheepishly at one another, while Married sighed and opened a book on his writing desk, flipping to the first page. Griff quickly stepped forward and smiled charmingly.